Kahlo Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Mashiach. It's gonna I don't know, I think it's more of a testimony, an account I'm gonna give. Everything I say is true to the best of my ability. I'm not quite sure where to start with this story. So I'll just start with where should I start? Some time ago, I was I was beguiled, betrayed by my own family. And I've confronted them on this by this point, and well, having well, they called me a madman, as if I was lying. I've never been a liar before. I'm not gonna start now. Things I say to you right here are true. So, between my rib and my mother's husband, they were giving me some drug, and I was unaware of, putting in the food or whatever, and yeah, and it would put me uh in a docile mode, and I would take commands. In any case, this is how I assume they got me back to my former apartment. I had already moved out, but living but yeah, they took me back to my former apartment, and the next thing I know, I was just laid down on the floor in my living room. My my One of my rib came into the apartment, and I was laying on the living room floor. She walked in, some music playing and whatnot. The point is, she stabbed me right in the heart. Stabbed me right in the heart. I didn't die, and that was that. And then after a time, um, after some time, I changed, and I was able to. My spirit came out of my body. I was able to do different things. I was able to just change my form, even to a CD. It was different, to say the least. It was strange, the strangeness of my salvation. And never mind that portion of it. The portion that it was key was, I don't know if it was before this or after that event, but because of the drug, I have a tough time getting the sequence of events down, but I remember the events quite clearly. Another one of the things that happened was I I was laying there. I woke up, and I felt what I can only describe as the greatest power level that I've ever felt, and it felt like it was coming from the direction that I come home from work when I used to live there. And I just remember watching and looking for it, like, and feeling it come closer and closer until it was right outside my window. And then, with blinding speed, the presence of the Lord walked in, or rather flew in through the window. Didn't break it, nothing. Just came right in like it was nothing. And of course, it's nothing to the Most High God. Um, so yeah, as soon as I seen that, or seen him come in, I was already sitting up because I it felt like that power level was incredible. And then when I seen him, he well, let's talk about him first. And I seen him, he looked like a ball about this big or so, of just pure power. And it was, if you can imagine, if you can imagine heat over a stove, that waviness about it, that's what was going on. And it was just like, just power, just raw power. And I, for me, I instantly went into full prostration before him. And man, I knew the Lord was coming. I said as much to my ribs who was there. I said, you can't, I asked, he said, you can't feel that? And I said, the Lord is coming. And so when he came in, I already knew who it was. And when I seen him, I was just in awe at his presence. And so I fell on my face. And after a minute or two, I I had gained the, I don't know what it was. It wasn't strength. It was just, I was willing to lift my head at that point and actually speak to him. Because I don't know, I suppose as a prophet, as a man of the Lord, an apostle, you should know better than, you don't assume to speak before the Lord. No, I waited. And after he just said nothing, that's when I asked him flat out. I was like, "Is it time, Lord? Is it time to go home?" I'm wondering if we were going to go to heaven at that point, if I can go reside back with him. So he did not reply. He said nothing, but I just waited for an answer. But then his answer came. He he came from that moment from where he was near the wall by the window, and he came in blinding speed once again, and he entered into my body, hit me right in the chest. So and it pushed me backwards, and it frightened me. Not gonna lie, I was, hey man, the Lord is a fearful thing, and that's what happened that day, or at least so far. And from then, I just laid back down. And then I knew men were coming for me at that point. And when they finally did come for me, I don't know what they were doing with me, toying with me or what, but it wasn't the best idea, because I ended up walking on a wall and flying in front of everyone. Went from on the wall to flying to charging up some attack that I don't know what it would have did to everybody in the house as well. It definitely, nothing would have survived. I know it. Um, so that happened. Everyone left, and yeah, I just laid back down like it was nothing. And eventually, actually, I was able to change into, I had changed my clothes and my appearance. I was about, my account, maybe 7 feet tall. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, because I didn't, like, I was measuring myself. And what happened? I was unable to talk, which was strange to me, but I was unable to speak. But I was able to control myself when I took this form. And then I remember gazing up and seeing one of these things that the Lord had promised me, that I always knew that he was going to do for me. And it was just a castle, a white castle looking thing. And I seen it. And then I just couldn't take my eyes off it. And then I looked to my wife, and I yeah, motioned for her to come, and she came to me. She held on to me, and went just like that. I took her. I took her to that place. So that happened. I come back. I come back down with her. Actually, I seen a couple brothers up there too, but then I came back down. For some reason, I decided to lay down again. My form changed back regular, and I began to spin horizontally like this. Actually, it was the other way, but and then I stopped and I cursed her. I cursed her to the floor, and she was unable to move until I decided for her to be able to move. After that, I began to spin again and then I stopped and found my form. This is when I did the cutscene, but or when I started switching and changing forms and whatnot, and with music and everything, it was quite beautiful for what I can remember. I can't remember every bit of it due to the whatever they drugged me with, but that happened. Then I came, like, I gained the control, stood upon my feet, and was able to speak at this point. And I went to my rib, who was in her room, her bedroom, weeping because of I suppose what I had did to her. But she had earned that. She definitely did. That wasn't unrighteous at all. She deserved it. Um, apparently when I was going through this, they were asking me to bless them, and I blessed them with whatever childish, foolish blessings they asked for. One of them wanted bigger boobs. The other one wanted, the one who was crying, she just wanted better teeth, wanted me to make her teeth perfect, and I did. But when I had noticed it, well, first off, I didn't notice it. I was just speaking to her. I came to her and I told her that I got the truth, that we could finally be together again. And what happened from there? And then she said, and I showed her, and I was like, look at me. And she was like, I was showed her my form, and she reminded me about my whipping that I normally have on my back, and I formed it there, or the halo. It was one or the other, but I remember I formed it, and so I had it. Um, and I told her, I was like, and when she said, look at my teeth, and I was like, and she said, aren't they perfect now? And I told her that they were perfect the way they were. So I removed the blessing of that because it was just as I said, she was perfect the way she was. Her appearance, I had no problems with it. I still don't. So that happened. And then the next thing, well, I could even hear, even though she thought I could not hear, my other rib said, telling her to get ready to stab me. And she did. She stabbed me pretty good. She stabbed me once in the chest off to the left, or off to my left side. Um, well, this is actually, and she told me what she did to my son and admitted to what, um, actually, no, she didn't admit the next little bit yet, but she admitted to what had happened to my son. And it broke my spirit, that so much so that I couldn't eat. My form had changed back. I had changed back into, actually not even yet. I just got shorter at the time. I got down to my normal size, and I began to weep. And then she came over and she stabbed me 4 or 5 more times in the back. All this, it really didn't feel like nothing. It was, I mean, when you got a glorified body, it doesn't really affect you. What did affect me was the realization of what was going on. And that broke my heart. That broke my spirit. And that was that. And then eventually I got up and just went and laid back down. And that was it. And I took the nap. And yeah, then she woke me up and she wanted me to go into the room with her, another one of my ribs. And they beguiled me and they put my boy on me after I was laid down there. I don't know what they were drugging me with. I wish I knew. And they beguiled me, put my son on me after they did whatever they did to me. My two friends came in with guns, and they were talking. They were supposed, they're gonna shoot me or whatnot. I didn't care. I told them flat out, I'm a god. You can't kill me. No one can kill me but the Most High God Himself. And it proved to be correct because one of them shot me in the head, and then the other one, and it didn't do anything. Spirit came and grabbed it like it was nothing, grabbed the bullet. And then the second time I allowed them to hit me. It hit me, did nothing. Entered, I don't know what happened to it, but it didn't do shit. Now, obviously, I'm still here without any scars on my head. Um, so that's that. Then, after that, I just heard, I don't know how, but I heard other people talking. I was able to hear, um, all I can say is the puppets of globalists, uh, who began to speak to me, and they asked me to bless them and whatnot, and or it was not them, but they and to bless different nations and different men or so. For some reason, my spirit actually did it, just to teach them a lesson. Just say, I didn't have to do it. I did it just to teach them a lesson. That first off, if you want a blessing from a prophet, from someone who has this power to do so, all you need to do is ask. The second bit, well, and they're gonna pay for this. It's coming. It's coming. Trust me, it's coming. Second bit, aside from the blessings, um, we got into while I'm still laying here on my bed, into a spell battle. We started casting shit on each other. Their shit wasn't, it didn't harm me in the least. But I killed two of theirs off of off. I'm not gonna say the abilities I use or what I used to do it, but I did it. Killed two of theirs. Um, but the other two I spared because they're more or less puppets who hardly have a say in all this. So I'm more inclined to forgive them, but they need confess before me. Otherwise, I'm putting them both to death. In any case, and in fact, everyone involved, they don't stand before me, confess before me, I'm gonna put you down, flat out. That's that. What else can I say that I remember from this whole bullshit? I don't know, man. That's pretty much the key things. That the Lord came, He entered into me. He's still within me. I'm a God. I can't die. What else is there to be known? I took the form of something from basically one of my characters from Final Fantasy 14. That's another thing I should actually mention to you. That this world is changing. The prophets are correct. That this world is changing and doesn't and it's gonna be a lot sooner than later. I don't know if how many of you actually know that or believe that, but it's gonna be a lot sooner than later. Some of us are already changing and are changed and have received spiritual power, spiritual gifts. And I'm not gonna get too deep into this because I don't wanna hey, I'm not trying to give this sort of power isn't and knowledge isn't meant for everyone. So I think I'm gonna cut it right there. When the apostles, when I meet you finally in person, and prophets, bishops, ye men of Israel, when I meet you in person, I'll be glad to speak with you about this or anything else. So with that, I'll say Call Halal Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to all the prophets and apostles that came before me. Salutations to the Yakwan and Yakwa. Hearty Shalom to the brethren out there in the highways and byways doing this work in truth and in sincerity. And special Thawada to my spiritual teacher, Malcolm, the Maccabean spirit. Shalom.